Hi, Amber.
Hi, Megan.
Welcome to Bad Movies Rock.
Why, thank you, Megan. Megan, welcome to Bad Movies Rock. We're still watching Taken movies.
Amber, I wanted to do Taken because I was like, oh, great, we'll have like 3 weeks of movies that we won't have to think about. We won't have to decide, like, what are we watching this week? And it'll be great. We'll get, I have fond memories of Taken. And yeah, so that turned out just like I thought it would.
That's the problem. See, you thought you could game the system. You thought you could, it wasn't even that you were excited to watch the Taken movies. You were excited about not having to decide what to watch. And Megan, that's what happens when you lose the joy.
Yeah.
You get spanked by Luc Besson movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, though. We learn, we grow, we move on, we realize we maybe shouldn't have been as excited about things as we were when we initially watched them.
Right.
It's important to revisit these things with fresh eyes, to adapt to changing interests and disgusts. Just really don't like things.
Yeah, yeah. Just really, yeah. Just really see it from your today eyes and realize, hey, this was always terrible, and why did I like this? Oh no.
You never know which direction entertainment justice is going to take you in. Ordinarily, our focus is in reclaiming the movies that have been improperly maligned.
We try to, yes.
Sometimes it's in realizing, oops, a doodle. Maybe we shouldn't have loved this as hard as we did in the past, and maybe the critics are right for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, like real Con Air moments, if you will.
A real Con Air moment. So this isn't going to be a celebratory podcast again. I'm sorry.
No.
Luckily, I do believe we have decided not to do Taken 3.
We just can't, we barely decided to do this podcast, so there you go.
Wow. But don't worry, keep listening. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
And, hey, most likely we will, just swing rapidly in the opposite direction and find a movie that we're just super excited and crazy about to kind of regain some of the joie de vivre that usually infests our love of the bad, the good bad, the bad, the truly confusticating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Unico.
Confusticating.
Yeah, it's a word that I use sometimes.
Interesting.
It is definitely a word because I just said it was.
Yeah, well, there you go. Perfectly cromulent word.
Perfectly cromulent.
Mm-hmm.
Megan.
Yes, Amber.
We watched Taken 2.
Yeah, we did do that.
And in so doing, we've exposed ourselves to the delightful game, which is which. I shall hit you with summaries from IMDb, Metacritic, and Amazon, as well as me. And you will guess...
Excited.
Which is which. The movie itself did not inspire me that much, so I'm afraid it's going to be kind of a... It's not just me. From these, the movie didn't inspire many people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We shall begin. Brian Mills and his wife are taken hostage in Istanbul.
And that's it?
That's it, I'm done.
Amazing. Okay, great.
A 2. As a retired CIA agent with a particular set of skills, Brian Mills stopped at nothing to save his daughter Kim from Albanian kidnappers. When the father of one of the kidnappers swears revenge and takes Brian and his wife hostage during their family vacation in Istanbul, Brian enlists Kim to help them escape and uses the same advanced level of special forces tactics to get his family to safety and systematically take out the kidnappers one by one.
Okay.
3. In Istanbul, retired CIA operative Brian Mills and his wife are taken hostage by the father of a kidnapper Mills killed while rescuing his daughter.
Okay, yes, okay.
Accurate. And the final one. Kidnap my family once, shame on you. Kidnap my family twice, shame on me. Kidnap my family 3 times, oh wait, you just killed her, never mind. I guess shame goes back on you.
Mm-hmm,
there you go. That was a little spoiler alert for Taken 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Someone got lazy.
Yes. Huh. I wonder who. Okay. Amazon, Metacritic, IMDb, Amber.
It's getting too easy.
Well, that Amazon one was a fucking giveaway. Amazon just, it's reminiscent of their Resident Evil 5 or whatever it was one.
The sequel to Resident Evil 3D.
Yep, exactly. Great. Great.
Yeah, I think it was less than 10 words. And that included both the first and last name of the main character.
Yes.
Nice stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
excellent.
Grand stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shall we take a look at what the critics thought?
Sure. So, Amber, Taken 2 was a 22 for the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 52 for the audience.
22. Wow.
22.
45 on Metacritic for the critics, 56 for the users. Still, a handful of positive reviews, a lot of middling reviews.
Yes.
Some of the blurbs, kind of amusing. One in particular really grabbed my attention.
Okay. I'd love to hear it.
One of the funnier blurbs was from Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly. You know what happens in Taken 2, don't you? The same thing that happened 4 years ago in Taken, but different. But the same.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so.
I did enjoy that.
Uh-huh. Yes, it's very good. Yeah. Lots of lazies, lots of goofies, lots of the same.
Yep, recycled, rehashed, worse version. They did the same thing again, but they did it worse. Mm-hmm. The positive ones thought the action was still serviceable. It was still a good junk food movie, and that having a large, capable actor in the role at least maintained some of the interest.
Yeah.
But my favorite, Megan, little blurb was from David Edelstein at Vulture. The screenwriters go out of their way to prepare you for Taken 3. Suburzia has more sons. And Kim's virginity is getting harder and harder to preserve. So not everybody was unaware of the fact that the premise of the first movie, and to a lesser extent the second movie, was about keeping Kimmy's hymen intact.
Yes.
I'm kind of glad that we weren't the only ones who saw that.
Yeah, it's the MacGuber, Amber. You gotta watch that hymen. Keep your eyes on the hymen. Where's the hymen?
Well done, David Edelstein.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they did enjoy it. They thought it was a bad version of the same thing.
And I can say that I agree with these critics. The ones I'm reading, yeah, that's about right. It's, it doesn't, the critics hit upon some of the kind of the overall feelings of like blah and lazy and such. What they don't get to is kind of the, again, the treating women like, property and like crap.
We are all just damsels. Megan, damsels in distress, and we need a Liam Neeson to come and save us, as well as bark orders at us and tell us what to do. And
tell us exactly what to do.
He's just a hero who's trying to save us from ourselves. And really the only weakness he has is that there are women folk in his life that he cares about. Because otherwise he'd just be untouchable.
He'd be invincible, Amber. That's very true.
But man, women, so incapable.
Yeah.
So hysterical. So full of wails and whines and tears, and so easily knocked unconscious and kidnapped and manhandled.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Can't follow directions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if only there were a way for them to be trained, to have a particular set of skills. Oh, but those skills were only for men.
Yeah, don't be silly, Amber.
I'm sorry. I'm just a woman, Megan.
Yeah, exactly. We should have invited a male guest onto this podcast, Amber.
So he could explain to us how this is exactly how things should be.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I can't really argue with the critics on this. They didn't discuss some of the particulars that we ourselves will get into, but
yeah. I mean, when they say that it rehashes, like, the thing that it rehashes is that, women are to be fought over and don't have agency unto themselves. So,
and that they are just themselves objects to be used in the execution of a male goal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not quite as sensational and exploitative as the first one.
No, that's true. It was very personal this time. And
it was very personal the first time. There was just also a backdrop of a bunch of other female bodies who were being brutalized, tortured. and kidnapped.
Yeah.
But we didn't care. They were just the background. This time it narrows the focus. And so we just have only the two women to deal with.
Yeah, and because we only have two women to deal with here, we can really zoom in on the kind of gross, tortury things that we do to one of the women. So that's nice.
Huzzah!
Okay, critics. Yeah, you got it right. Sure.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
sure. All right, Megan, let's do this.
Okay.
Taken 2.
Yes.
Now we're in Istanbul.
How'd we get there, Amber?
Oh, jeez.
I thought Brian was just going by himself for a job.
Well, Megan, I'm glad you asked. You see, Brian is taking an interest in his family for reals, as he said he would in the first one.
Okay, good job, Brian, I guess.
He's teaching his young daughter how to drive.
Oh, I bet he's so good at it.
Even though she seems hesitant to learn and has failed the past 2 or 3 tests. But, he's gonna wash the car and bark orders at her so that she will do it.
Oh, great.
And when she doesn't show up, he will hunt her down at the house of the boyfriend that she didn't tell him about, mainly because she didn't want him to hunt her down at his house while she was trying to, regain some sense of normalcy and control over her body and her agency. And it's okay, though. She's too stupid to understand that life is dangerous, so he installed GPS on her phone so that he could follow her wherever she is.
Wow. That seems very much the antithesis of what that young woman needs.
He's a good
at this point.
father, Megan.
Yeah, but...
And his traumatized daughter needs to fucking learn how to fucking drive and always tell him everything about her life and always be in a place where he can always find her.
And if not, he'll do it himself.
Yes. It's the only way to keep her virginity safe. Megan, they were making out on that couch when he got there. They were making out on that couch when he got... They could have had sex and then she wouldn't have been a virgin anymore. And then what's the fucking point of any of this?
You're so right, Amber.
Thank goodness he installed GPS on her phone.
Wow. It just... like a violation on top of all the trauma that she... does she really need people chasing her down at this point? Like, she's...
Megan, he's a good and wonderful father. Something that Lenore has finally accepted to be true. Lenore is on the outs with her rich husband. They're currently separated and figuring things out. And man, she and Brian they're really getting along. Drinking wine together, laughing, talking, sharing. And, she was actually going to go on a trip to China with her husband and her daughter. But since, the separation, she decided to just go with Kimmy. But, Megan, her ex, well, he's not her ex yet. Her separated husband is being a real dick. He canceled all the plans and all of the reservations, and now they can't go on their trip to China.
He's not paying for them to go to China without him anymore?
Yeah, he's a real dick.
Yeah, that's,
Come on, man. But Brian to the rescue, baby. He's got a job in Istanbul. Why don't they just come and join him when it's over?
Okay. So now we're okay with going to other countries?
Megan. It was always perfectly safe for them to travel to other countries so long as he was with them.
Okay, so this will be a perfectly safe trip.
Exactly. Because remember with Paris, he was like, well, why don't I just come with you? Then I'm not going to be worried about it. But then she said no. Right. Thus she was kidnapped. This time, she's going to be with him. Who safe as houses when you're with old Brian Mills.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, wait, possibly?
Right, because remember how he killed all of those Albanian kidnapping sex traffickers?
Yeah. Do they have families, Amber?
Megan.
Families that care and want revenge?
Megan, they were brothers, husbands, sons.
Oh, no.
They have family that cared about them.
Yeah.
And that family has sworn vengeance against the monster who killed their little monsters.
But their monsters killed and...
I don't care what they did, Megan.
Sold women.
I don't care what they did. These people will never hear the voices of their kidnapping, sex trafficking sons, husbands, and fathers again. And how are they going to live with that if they don't bathe the ground that they're buried in with the blood of the man who killed them?
But the
Justice.
Women who went, the dozens and dozens of women.
Justice, Megan.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the bad guy in this one. He wants justice for his little monsters.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
That seems like a real bad guy motivation right there.
Oh, the humanity of the people who do terrible things. How I care about it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, great. So, how could someone possibly get taken in this movie, Amber, when you've got Brian right there next to them?
That is an excellent question, Megan. The answer is being a stupid, useless woman.
Oh, right. I forgot. Right. Even though he's there, they're still women. Yeah.
That's the problem. He can protect them, but if they don't listen to everything he says and do it exactly, he can't protect them from themselves and their own womanly incompetence. Megan, Brian, he's targeted. But when they arrive in Istanbul, they realize, oh, Brian's not alone. He's traveling with his family. Well, what an excellent chance to fuck with him some more. These two women are not at all responsible for their deaths of their fathers, husbands, sons. But Brian is. And women don't really count as people, but they do count as ways to hurt real people, a.k.a. men.
A.k.a. the men, yes. Well, you didn't have to say that, people.
Yeah, I said people.
I know
we know people are the ones that have the penises. Or identify as men. Now, Megan, Brian couldn't possibly be taken on his own. And we see that. Like, he is just taking these motherfuckers out one by one by one by one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Kimmy, she stayed back at the hotel. She's trying to play matchmaker. She wants her estranged parents to get back together. Lenore seems kind of into it. They're having a nice little moment in a cab when he realizes they're being followed. What does he do? Well, he immediately sends her away from him. Gives her extremely complicated instructions in the middle of a very unfamiliar city, filled with people and lots of alleys and things. He wants her to focus. She's panicking because he's making it really clear dangerous men are following us. No. Right. Listen, focus, Lenore. When you take the third right, you go to the blue door, 10 paces. Then you take a left. Then you go to the green door. This stupid woman gets confused, winds up at a locked gate, winds up getting grabbed. So Brian has to surrender himself.
Wow. He would never do that if she wasn't there.
He would never have to do that. He had these people taken care of.
Yeah.
Women. Well, thank goodness Kimmy listened to his instructions.
At least Kimmy can hide in a closet that he told her to hide in and accidentally not get caught.
Oh, man. Luckily, the kidnappers, as they're saying, put down your gun, we have your wife, allow him to make like a 5-minute phone call.
Yeah, he's got a gun trained on one of the kidnappers. The other kidnapper has a gun trained on Lenore, and he just makes a fucking phone call.
Yeah. And gives Kim very detailed instructions. I want you to go to my room. I want you to go do this. I want you to hide in the closet. And these instructions absolutely almost get her kidnapped because they go straight to the closet. And the only reason they don't find her is because they alert hotel security by shooting a different man.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you think, oh, well, then why didn't I send Kim to hotel security? It doesn't matter. He kept her safe, and she did exactly what he told her to do. And, what's she going to do now? Well, maybe she'll do something to save them. No, I mean, not really. Luckily, he has a phone, so he can call her and tell her exactly what to do.
Yeah.
That involves setting off grenades in a busy city.
Yeah, he echolocates by grenade, Amber. It's very clever.
And then running around that city with a loaded gun and yet more grenades.
Yeah, that seems real safe for a 17-year-old.
Her sole purpose is to get the gun to him because she doesn't know how to use a gun, Megan.
Why wouldn't she? Wouldn't? Okay, I am not saying that guns are the self-defense that is necessary for people, but wouldn't he, as a gun user, train his daughter, who got taken before, in the ways of using such a weapon for her own safety?
So you were hitting on the crux of the thing that I shouted at you while we were watching this movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Definitely don't train your recently kidnapped and sold into sex slavery daughter in self-defense of any kind. You, sir, have the particular set of skills. So the only way to keep her safe is to keep her with you or within your reach
at all times.
Because you couldn't possibly hand her the tools to maybe keep herself safe in any way, shape, or form because she's just a woman. She can't handle these skills. Yeah. Hand-to-hand combat, self-defense, basic understanding of how to aim and fire a gun. No, Megan.
or who to go to in a crisis, like not the closet and do go to the hotel security.
Or to the embassy, or give her the name of your boy Sam to give her... No. All she needs
resources,
in this world is her dad to shoot the bad guys for her and yell at her what to do. And to show up for her fucking driving lessons and to never, ever, ever have sex.
Yeah, those are simple requests.
Simple requests.
Yeah.
Definitely keep her as helpless as humanly possible. So it's almost like Kim gets to do something. Kim gets to be actiony and in control.
Yes.
That's not true. She just follows his instructions. She does climb out a hotel window and have to inch her way along a very dangerous hotel balcony because guess what? She can't even get into the room that her dad told her to go to.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
And then, she runs across some rooftops and sets off some grenades. That's really dangerous and weird.
It's really dangerous. How many did she kill, Amber?
Who knows? She definitely caused a lot of property damage.
Yeah, the first grenade she was so hesitant to throw. And then by the second and third, she was just flinging them absentmindedly, kind of willy-nilly.
Yep, and this was also, he could echolocate her to his location because he used his ears and his counting skills to figure out where they were in the city and then use the grenades to really pinpoint things down so that she could drop a gun down to him. And then she immediately starts getting chased. You would think this would be a great time for her to employ some amazing self-defense skills, but no, her job is just to run and survive long enough for Brian to get himself free.
Yep.
Cut Lenore down from this horrifying torture position she's been placed into for no reason other than it will hurt him psychologically.
Yes.
Kill every person in the building where they were being kept.
Yeah.
And then somehow, magically, know exactly where Kim is, despite the fact that she just fled in a random direction on some rooftops.
Yep.
So that he can shoot her attacker.
Yeah. Well, he knows. He's got a particular set of skills, Amber. Yeah. One of the things that I was reading about was saying exactly that Kim this time gets to save her parents. But that is, like you said, completely incorrect. She gets to follow Brian's very specific directions and then get saved by Brian a couple times.
She gives him a gun. That's it.
Yeah.
She gives him a gun. A gun that he uses to shoot people.
Yeah.
But he'd already freed himself from his, handcuff situation. So he could have also just, waited by the door where they wouldn't be expecting him because he was supposed to be chained to a pipe, used his particular set of skills to get the gun from the guy who came through the door unexpectedly, and then shoot him. Because he's proven himself very, very capable of murdering people without a gun.
It almost seems like that would have been the safer thing for him to do and not actually involve his teenage daughter in this kidnapping and just send her directly to safety of the embassy.
No, Megan.
Which is where he ends up taking her later on.
She wanted to help. He sent her to the embassy and she said, "No, I'm not leaving without you." So he begrudgingly let her throw grenades around the city and run around with a loaded gun.
Yeah, that seems much safer. And much more help. No, okay.
See, the reason to have Kimmy there is so that he would have to choose between getting his unconscious wife to safety or saving his daughter. He's got to save his daughter. She's in most likely the most immediate danger. And then when he goes back for Lenore, wouldn't you know it, more guys have showed up and taken her again. So she's retaken.
Right. So if he had just told his daughter to go to the embassy and then did the fancy footwork that you described, he actually would have made it out with his wife and his daughter would have already been safe and everything would have been over at that point.
Quite possibly, but who are we to judge?
Yeah, true.
Poor Lenore in this movie.
Oh, Lenore. She's just manhandled.
She's the reason he and she get taken in the first place because she doesn't follow instructions well. And then they slit her neck a little bit, put a sack over her head and hang her upside down, sort of hogtied, so that she'll very slowly bleed out in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Her pain is only serves to make him sad. That's the whole point of what they do to her. And later on, they just, again, use Lenore as they run knives very creepily down her skin just to be really upsetting. And, yeah, great.
Yeah, because they retook her. Liam Neeson's trying to get her back. They know he'll try to get her back. So they've decided that torturing her for his crimes will be very satisfying for them. So they decide that they're going to cut pieces off of her slowly and kill her very, very slowly. So the torture expert, for dramatic effect and so that they don't actually start cutting things off of her, instead, yes, sort of just psychologically tortures her by caressing her with sharp implements and slowly cutting her shirt off. And she's just, trying not to cry, but shaking. Meanwhile, her dashing ex-husband is carving his way through bad guys and using his sound memory and counting to retrace his steps through the city to find her. And then, more Lenore being creepily sexually manhandled pre-torture.
Yeah. That torture was just for them, wasn't it, Amber?
Yes.
I mean, it didn't have anything to do with Brian.
No,
it was all about...
He couldn't see it.
He could not see it. He could not stop it. It was not hurting him at that moment.
Yes.
In fact, they probably wanted her alive in order to use her later to, upset him / control him.
Just from a strategic point of view, it actually really didn't make sense to do what they were doing. I mean, if they were going to start cutting off pieces, where the fuck were they going to send those pieces? To drive the message home? Do they have his mailing address in Istanbul?
I mean, he's following them. He's not at his mailing address. Yeah.
So, you're not using women as sort of background misery for the plight of your daughter. You're just sort of using them to be rescued and also be your weakness and also just be so helpless and kind of wailing a lot and crying and just really just overwhelmed by things, including Kimmy gets to drive through Istanbul in a car chase with cops and bad guys and getting shot at. And, oh man, Megan, she doesn't even have her driver's license.
Yeah, we learned that, she doesn't even know really how to drive. She's just been practicing.
It's a fucking harrowing situation. Bullets are flying. The city is difficult to drive through. She doesn't know where she's going. She's following GPS. And meanwhile, in the passenger seat, she's got her dad just barking orders at her. Faster, Kimmy. Faster. Turn here. Faster, Kimmy. Faster. I can't. Faster, Kimmy. At no point does she seem to fuck up, but he is constantly yelling at her. Yeah. And she's constantly verbalizing distress and ineptitude, despite the fact that she's fucking crushing it.
Yeah. I mean, he just yells at her to keep going sometimes.
Keep going. She is. She didn't stop. She didn't slow down.
Why is this helpful? You're just yelling at her.
She is. She is going.
She wasn't. Oh, boy. Yeah.
The one time it kind of makes sense is when he's demanding she drive in front of a train.
Yeah. He did do that to her.
She doesn't stop. She doesn't really hesitate other than verbally, but, oh, man. Yeah, it's still a scene where it seems like, here's, way to go, Kim. Kind of. Because you're actually just being told what to do by your dad again. Barked at by your dad while you continually have her dialogue be, I can't.
Despite the fact that she is, and she's doing great. Yeah. And then he brings her into the safety of the UN, drops her off, and goes to find Lenore.
No. See, after they get rid of and/or murder everyone following them, the final one by having them crushed by a train.
Sure.
They drive to the U.S. Embassy, which you think, okay, great.
Oh, yeah, U.S. Yeah,
and again, not currently being followed, yet he still decides that the best way to get them in there safely is to have her just drive through the checkpoint.
Through, as in through the kiosk that's there?
Yes. Don't worry, the person came out to shoot at them because they assumed the car was a suicide bomber and they were trying to stop it. But they got down. They got down in their seats so that the bullets wouldn't hit them. And then he called his friend to say, hey, tell the United States government not to kill us because we're not suicide bombers.
Great. That seems really safe.
In his defense, I suppose they did not have their passports, but then I take that back by saying he could have just called his friend before crashing into the kiosk and just said, hey, it's me.
Get my daughter in. Yeah.
Get my daughter in. Because once they're in there and they think they're suicide bombers, I feel like it's even harder to explain the lack of a passport.
Yeah. Man. But Sam's able to do it. Don't worry about it. We don't even see Sam do it. We just know he did because the next scene is just Liam Neeson walking away.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and the action is fine. It's passable. It's serviceable. It's not that interesting. And, you know, it is hard, again, to look back with post-John Wick eyes or nobody eyes.
It is.
And not kind of feel like, okay, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little ho-hum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it comes down to Brian having to save Lenore, he stops her from being more than psychologically tortured. She still winds up unconscious again. Then he has to take out the final bad guys who are still moralizing at him about,
oh boy,
my son, I'll never hear my son's voice again. How am I? And Brian's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. Do you have another son? We don't care if he has daughters. Do you have another son? Yes. I've got 2. And I assume they'll come after me if I kill you. Yes, they will. That just seems fucking tiresome. Can you just stop? Can you just stop? If you say you'll stop, I will believe you. And we can just call it a day.
Well, that seems very reasonable of Brian Ember.
It does. So he puts his gun down as a sign of good faith and walks away. Wouldn't you know it, that guy not willing to stop.
He was lying.
He was lying.
So he shoots him.
Yeah, the gun's empty.
Oh, that clever Brian.
Clever Brian.
Yeah.
So he murders him.
Yeah, he does.
Justice, though. And
there's so much moralizing.
There's so much.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no. You're right. Because it's the conversation in that moment is, how am I supposed to deal with my son's death and never getting to hear his voice again? And Brian responding, you'll have to deal with it in the same way as all the families of the fucking girls your son kidnapped.
Yeah.
You know, the ones I left behind in this single-minded search for my daughter.
Which is so like, yeah, on one hand, you're like, hey, this bad guy is really not like thinking through things because like, yeah, his son was involved in the taking of, you know, hundreds probably of young people. And they're like, yeah, right on, Brian, you tell him what for. And then you're like, wait a second, Brian, you also didn't care about those women. You just left them.
Yes.
To whatever their fates were and went after your daughter.
And if you think about what happened to Lenore the second he walks away to help Kimmy, I feel like that's what we can kind of assume happened to all of the women the second he left to go find Kimmy.
Right.
The rest of the organization showed up and the shit just immediately started back up again.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
There's always more. There's always more to pick up where they left off. He did nothing to stop the cycle of violence against those women. So motherfucker, you hypocrite.
Yeah. It's amazing that like when Brian is asking after the bad guy's kids, he really does say sons and grandsons. Like they're not thinking. He doesn't say children. He doesn't say grandchildren.
No.
He says sons and grandsons.
Yes. He's like, do you have any sons? I assume they'll come after me. Wouldn't you rather go back home and enjoy your time with your sons and grandsons?
Why are they so specific? I mean, I
we
know,
don't
but like,
fucking care about women, Megan. They are objects. They are possessions. They are not people that you want to spend time with.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Thanks, Taken Two. Oh, sorry. I forgot the most important part. Thanks to Brian, Kimmy totally passes her driver's test when they get home.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you need that stinger at the end of a Taken movie that kind of really focuses on what Kim's going to do and just makes you feel good about it.
Yeah, she passed her driver's test just like Brian always told her she could and should.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if I want to drive. You're gonna drive.
Okay, I really just needed a man to tell me what to do because really my past trauma is just, I'll get over it by having more yelling at me
Really
happen.
struggling to deal with being kidnapped and having just control over my life and my body taken from me. I always have to know where you are and I'm going to tell you what to do.
Cool.
Didn't she want to be a singer? I guess that fucking didn't work out. I guess she showed up to that pop star's house with her voice coach and everybody just was like, oh, no.
They were like, well, okay,
maybe get a different
great.
Dream. Because she's not singing in this one, Megan.
Nope, she's not singing this one.
Well, since we're not going to do Taken 3.
Yeah, let's just run it down, folks. Like, you think you watched Taken 3 back in the day, Amber? Or you don't even know?
I think I may have. I have pretty much no recollection of it.
Yeah, me neither.
Very forgettable.
Yeah. To just run it down, folks, like...
Wait. Let me guess. I assume we're going to be dealing with the sons of the Albanian group. Because the dude said that they would come after him.
Like, straight said that. Yeah. No. We're dealing with Lenore getting murdered and Brian getting framed for it.
Why?
Well, because Lenore's ex-husband is in deep debt with the Russians and wants the life insurance policy from Lenore, and so pins it on Brian.
Wait. Was he actually her ex-husband?
Oh, that's right. That's right. She wants to make it work.
So she decides that, like, there was clearly some canoodling happening between Brian and Lenore in Taken 2. And you get the sensation that, like, they're probably getting back together after his remarkable heroism in Paris, and why not his remarkable heroism in Istanbul, where he saves both Kim and her. He kind of saves her twice. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's magical. But that Angela Lansbury.
Oh, that Angela Lansbury.
Goes back.
She gets back with Stuart.
To her shitty husband. Well, guess what happens now, Lenore?
Yeah, you didn't pick Brian? Well, guess what? You're gonna
you're gonna die!
Exactly right.
The only safe place to be is with Brian and or taking his very detailed instructions on what you're supposed to do with your life.
I thought we were very clear about that, Amber, and I don't understand why Lenore went against that.
Taken 1.
Yeah.
Do what I tell you, Kimmy and Lenore. Well, now she's been kidnapped. Are you fucking happy? Now I have to go fucking get her. Taken 2. Just go where I tell you to go and do what I tell you to do. Well, fucking Lenore, you didn't. And now you've been kidnapped. I've been kidnapped. And Kim's running around with fucking grenades. God damn it. Okay. But now we're just going to get back together. I can keep an eye on you. I can keep an eye on her. You're going back to him?
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Just like
And
traveling outside the country without me. It's the same death sentence.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
So she became a corpse.
Yeah.
At that point, not even a person anymore, an object that put Brian's freedom in danger because he was framed for her murder.
Right.
And the sole purpose of making her a corpse was for money. It was to cash in on her life insurance policy. Her value was her life insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
And her association with Brian.
Right.
And so he's not even rescuing anybody at this point. At this point, it is just pure revengeance.
Yeah. There's the very end, apparently, that Stuart abducts Kim, but that's at the very, very end.
And also, for some reason, Kim is pregnant.
Also, Kim is pregnant, and then the cutesy little bit at the end where we catch up with Kim and do a little nice feeling ending is that she's gonna name her baby after her mom if it's a girl.
Aww.
Yeah. And at this point, we don't really care so much for Kim anymore because she's definitely lost her virginity.
Hey, could be a virgin birth.
Could be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
we're not watching Taken 3, folks. So after we read that, it's like, yeah, I don't need to watch Lenore die and be a Magoober corpse. No, thank you.
Toodles Taken. It was fun while it lasted.
What would you rate this movie, Amber? Regrettable, outstanding, crazeballs, or K?
I don't know if it's pure regrettable. There might be some K in there.
It's hard to find
I think
K in there.
it's tough having gone so judgy on Taken 1 to not kind of have it influence my feelings for Taken 2.
Sure,
Which even the critics agree is kind of a pale imitation of Taken 1.
Right.
Without really kind of recovering from just women. Women aren't so great in this world. Their lives aren't, their choices, their behaviors, they're not well written. Yeah. They're not well filmed or directed. It makes me sad inside.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Yeah, I would go with pretty regrettable. Like, not as, like, gross as Taken 1, but still not fun.
Oh, well. Megan.
Yeah. Yes, Amber.
Do an Issa story.
Okay. So, Abby learned about the Rockettes and, like the can dance that the Rockettes do. And she's very excited about this. And, one morning, I was taking care of Maddie and she walked into the door frame and then started doing the can. And she said, "Look, I'm just like the Rockheads."
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she got it.
She got it. Yeah. She was just like the Rockheads.
Just like the Rockheads.
Mm-hmm. Amber, do you have a recommendation for folks?
Kind of. Let's just do Vox Machina.
Oh, yeah, let's do a Vox Machina. That'd be great.
We finished it, so we can officially say something about it and have a very thorough understanding of its entirety. Mm-hmm. Also a word.
It's also a word. Cromulent word. It is on Amazon Prime. It is a cartoon animation based on the first season or parts of the first season of Critical Role.
It's
Amber, what did you think of it?
For adults.
This is super. Hey, this is super for adults.
I am recommending it more than anything because I'm very curious what people who have not watched the original Critical Role stream would think of it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious because it's the humor is some of it's kind of juvenile and lazy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I give it a pass because I'm so fond of the characters and the people behind them that it's fine. And there are definitely some cute, funny moments. And I also know the story.
Right.
So I don't feel like I'm missing anything by having it so condensed and streamlined as it is in the stream. It's 12 episodes. Each episode is, 20, 22 minutes. Whereas the stream that it's coming from, that's dozens of hours.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I will be very curious. On the online, people seem to be enjoying it, even if they have not, listened to all of Critical Role. So at least that's the stuff that I'm seeing. But I'm really curious for a first-hand impression of that.
I don't care about those people. I don't know those people. I care about my people.
Exactly.
The group of people I have personally curated. They're the ones whose opinions I value. If this podcast has told you anything, I don't care what the critics have to say. No. Unless they agree with me.
Exactly.
And they rarely do.
Michael, Dan, watch it. Get back to us. TJ? Is TJ going to watch it?
Nah, probably not. He might not. He might. I don't think he'd enjoy it, though.
No. All right. You don't have to watch it, TJ.
Yeah, so give Vox Machina a try and let us know what you think, because I am just very curious.
Yeah. Great voice acting.
Yeah.
Some incredible voice actors in there.
The animation is lovely.
The animation's delightful. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but Grog is the best, obviously.
Grog is definitely the best. I mean, that's always been true.
Yeah, that's always been true.
Always
it's
been
true
true
in the stream as much as it is in this.
Seriously, the animation is really solid. Like, a lot of the creature stuff is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. They do some cool things with the, like, effects that happen. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Okay.
I feel like this was a breezy one for us.
Yeah, pretty great.
Excellent. Well, Megan.
Yes, Amber.
Lovely seeing you here. I can't wait to figure out what we're going to watch next. I hope it's going to be super exciting and shiny, and I'll be just ranting about how great it is.
Yeah, Amber, I really hope that too.
Yeah, I love it when you can't get a word in edgewise because I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's delightful.
Well, have a good weekend this year, Megan.
Amber, thank you. And I will just finish up like I always say, which is just like the Rockheads.
I have this horrible image in my head, this grotesque, terrible image when you say Rockheads and combine it with the concept of Rockettes. Because I'm also like, like the Taken miasma around my head about women. And I am just imagining just women whose heads have been replaced by rocks. Not women who naturally have rocks on their heads, but like just women who've sort of been Frankenstein monstered together. But instead of heads, rocks.
Yeah.
And just this macabre facsimile of life doing the jerkiest, most upsetting zombie version of like the kick in the line.
Wow.
Well, just one man, their evil, vile creator, the necromantic mastermind behind the Rockettes, just sits, hands clasped, alone in a theater, watching them for hours.
Wow. That almost seems reminiscent of the Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, very much so.
Shia LaBeouf song. Anyway.
It could just be a bunch of women with like paper-mache rocks on their heads, too.
That's exactly what I was going with.
A little less horrifying, but that man sitting out there, still horrifying.
Yeah.
And when they're done, he gets up and just claps.
Just
shouts, bravo. Man, I want to watch a Shia LaBeouf video.
Yeah, we should do that.
Let's go do that.
Okay. Bye, Amber.
Bye, Megan.